I never imagined a single afternoon could completely reshape how I viewed trust, family, and myself. It started on a humid summer weekend in Ohio, where I was visiting my girlfriend, Emily, at her family's lake house. I had been dating Emily for almost 2 years, and this trip was meant to be one of those milestones where I bonded more closely with her extended family. The lake house was cozy, filled with creaking wood floors, photos of generations of family gatherings, and a porch that looked out over the still waters. Emily had told me her aunt, Diane, would also be there. I had met Diane once before, a warm woman in her mid-40s, sharp-eyed, always smiling, and the kind of person who seemed to notice everything happening around her. She had been nothing but kind to me. That morning, Emily and her cousin had gone into town to grab supplies for dinner, leaving me behind at the house. The sun was heavy in the sky, and after a short run by the lake, I decided to take a shower. The bathroom in the lake house was small, with old-fashioned tiles and a curtain that barely reached the floor. It wasn't fancy, but it felt refreshing after the run. Just as I was rinsing the soap from my hair, I heard the door creak open. My heart jumped. The bathroom didn't have a lock, something Emily had mentioned casually the night before, saying, "We just all know to knock." But whoever opened it hadn't knocked. Through the foggy glass, I saw a figure pause. Then came a startled gasp.
It was Diane.
She immediately turned her head, stammering, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry," and fumbled to close the door. I froze, standing there under the water, unsure of what to say. Finally, I managed, "It's okay. It's my fault for not hanging a towel on the door." Her voice came muffled through the door now. No, it's mine.
I didn't think anyone was inside.
I was just grabbing laundry." For a moment, there was silence. I thought that was the end of it, but when I stepped out of the bathroom a few minutes later, wrapped in a towel, Diane was waiting in the hallway. She looked embarrassed, but also oddly serious. "I need to explain something," she said quietly. I was confused. "Really, it's fine. Things happen." She shook her head.
No.
"You don't understand. I walked in without knocking because I was distracted. I found something this morning that's been bothering me." My curiosity grew. Diane had always struck me as the composed one in the family, the glue holding everyone together. Seeing her unsettled was unusual. She hesitated, then motioned toward the living room. "Can we sit for a moment?" I followed her, still in my towel, which made me feel awkward, but she seemed too focused to notice. On the coffee table lay a small, old photo album. She pushed it toward me. "I found this when I was cleaning the guest room," she said. It belonged to Emily's mom. I opened it, flipping through faded pictures of family gatherings at the same lake house. Kids playing in the water, couples smiling on the porch, grandparents sitting proudly in chairs. Then I stopped at one photo. It was a younger Diane, probably around my age now, standing with a man who looked exactly like me. Same jawline, same eyes, same half-smile. I blinked, stunned. "That's why I froze when I saw you," Diane admitted softly. "You look exactly like him. That man was someone I once loved deeply. He disappeared from our lives suddenly, and seeing you felt like the past crashing back into the present." My chest tightened. Suddenly the shower incident seemed like the smallest part of this story. "Who was he?" I asked. She sat back, her eyes clouding with memory. "His name was Nathan. He was my fiancé. But before we married, he vanished. No goodbyes, no explanation. I searched, but no one ever knew what happened. And then here you are, looking like his reflection." I didn't know what to say. The air felt heavy with history and grief. When Emily returned later with groceries, she noticed the tension. Diane quickly closed the album and excused herself, leaving me to wrestle with the shock of the revelation. That night, when I lay in bed beside Emily, I kept seeing that photo, his face, my face, as though time had folded on itself. Over the next days at the lake house, Diane avoided me at times, yet occasionally I caught her studying me, almost searching for clues. Finally, on the third evening, I approached her on the porch. The sun was setting, painting the water gold. "I need to know more," I told her. She sighed, then told me about Nathan, how kind he was, how he had dreams of traveling the world, how he had promised to return from a trip but never did. No letters, no calls, nothing. For years she had carried both love and unanswered questions. "I don't think you're him," she said finally, "but your resemblance that's haunting." I promised her I would help look into it, if only to give her peace. And so began a journey I never expected, digging into old records, family archives, even talking to townspeople who remembered bits and pieces. Each clue revealed more about Nathan, but also raised more questions about who he really was and why he disappeared. By the time the week at the lake house ended, Diane and I had formed an unspoken bond. Not romantic, not inappropriate, but something rooted in shared mystery and compassion. What began as an embarrassing accident in a shower turned into a life-altering discovery of family secrets, hidden grief, and the way the past can live on in the present. And the biggest shock? Weeks later, when Diane called me late at night, her voice trembling, she said, "I found him. After all these years, I found Nathan." That was the moment I realized the story was far from over.